Hello, students, and anyone else who may be watching from home. This is Mr. Borges, also known as Zanzolo, and today we're going to be talking about our next project in Scratch. So here we are in Canvas. Reminder for you that the book fair is going on next week, this week, and right until the 15th of November. And we have a new button here on our homepage. Right, you can also always get to these things through here. So here we go. I'm going to click on the new button. It's going to take us to our new assignment. This is the video you're watching right here. I haven't recorded it yet, so it still says Maze. It's our old video. As soon as I upload it here, it will say animate your name. So you're already watching this video. Down here, I'm going to put the example of the project that I haven't made yet. We're going to be making it right now, so it's not here yet. Okay, so your project needs to have the following things. It needs to have, wait a second here, a sprite, a sprite for each letter of your name. The sprites should move and do things when they're clicked and when the space is pressed, and then have some interesting backdrops. Have some music. Do something more fun with your project than just that, having sprites. Okay, get yourself a better title than untitled, some instructions, and submit it to Canvas, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Scratch. I'm already logged in. I'm going to create a new project. Okay, there we go. I'm not going to use ScratchCAD in this project. So you have some choices about what you're going to do, and I want you to have fun and have some creative ideas about what you're going to want to do with this. So I'm going to look for, there was some letter B that I found earlier that I want to use. So I'm doing a Google image search, and here it was. But right, there's some background. So I'm going to right click and save this image. I'm going to rename it because images is not a name I'm ever going to be able to find again later. I'm going to call it letter B. Oops, letter B. And then I'm going to take this to the website called remove.bg, which is a website we've used before. Remove.bg. From here, I'm going to upload that image, and it's going to do its best to remove the background. Okay, it's a little bit slow right now, I guess. There we go. We're going to upload the image. The old one is still there from when I did this before. We're going to upload the image. It's going to think about that for a second, remove the background, and then there you go. So you can see it didn't do a perfect job. We're going to help that. So we're going to go ahead and download this. Now I've downloaded my letter B. I'm going to go back to Scratch. I'm going to upload, choose a sprite. I'm going to upload it. I'm going to go find my letter B. It's right there. Here's the one with the weird background. This is the one where we attempted to remove it from remove.bg. And can't tell if it did a good job or not until we pick some backdrop. So I'm just checking the background. I'm just picking a random backdrop right now. You can change that later. Just seeing if it did a good job cutting it out or not. I happen to know that it's not going to do a very good job cutting it out, and I'm going to help it. Did a pretty good job, except that those funny words that are over there on the side did pretty good. So I'm going to go to costumes for my letter B, zoom in a little bit, and then what I can do is these funny words that are over here, we're basically ripping this image off from whoever made it. I'm now removing their words. We couldn't read them anyway. All right, there you go. Since this project is just for educational purposes for here in school, I'm not going to mind too much that we removed their name from that image there. But just understand, right, if you are putting this project out into the world somewhere, if you were going to try to sell it on iTunes app or something like that, we would definitely have to figure out who it was that owned this image and give them credit for it and ask them permission to use it and probably even kick back some of the royalties for our project. So we maybe would want to hire our own artist or create our own artwork, but this is an example for a school project. So you could do something like this for all the letters, right? So for me, it would be B, I did an O, an R, a G, an E, and an S, and I'm not going to go do Google image searches for all of those one at a time. I'm just going to choose a sprite. I'm going to pick letters, and I'm just going to grab the letter O. So I'm going to use the letter O. I'm going to do that again. All right, you can do something much more interesting than this. I'm going fast, fast, fast on this part right here because I don't want this video to be 25 minutes long. So, right, picking another letters. Right, you can definitely mix it up, do some different stuff, right? Okay. So, needing just a few more letters, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So, with the coding. Okay, so you get these things like about where you want them to be when you start out. We're going to write instructions for them, right? I want that letter B to, when the green flag is clicked, I want it to go to that spot. So that when it moves around or whatever else we're doing later, when I click the green flag, it still spells your name. We're going to do something like that for each sprite. We can't just copy these from another sprite because the numbers are different for each one. So, right, so we're going to do that for each one. When the green flag is clicked, go to where you already are. When the green flag is clicked, we're going to go to where we already are. When the green flag is clicked, we're going to go to where we already are. And when the green flag is clicked, we're going to go to where we already are. So, right, when we're doing stuff later on in this project and the letters are moving around doing weird things, when it doesn't spell your name anymore, really, when you click the green flag, it always will. Okay, then we're going to write some instructions for these sprites to do something. And I'm not going to do that for every sprite. I'm just going to do one sprite as an example. Right, so forever and ever and ever, I'm going to have it, let's just say, glide to a random position. And, right, so that's something interesting it can do. So then it's going to just kind of move around and do its own thing. And it's not going to spell your name anymore until then when you click the flag, it's going to start out spelling your name, and then the letters can move all around. And you could do something like this for each one of them, or do something different. Do something different with the different letters, right? That's fine with me, right? So maybe this one's going to rotate around, right? I don't know. Something like that or whatever. Okay. So if you're going to do that with a letter, now O's kind of always makes an O wherever it goes, but right, other letters don't. So let's throw that into an R so I can see what I'm talking about. And so R, this is kind of flipping and roll around all over the place. So when I click the flag, it's not resetting. I need to reset it. So tell it, hey, point in the, at the beginning of your project, point in the direction. That way, every time you click the, and it's spinning kind of fast, so it's hard to tell. Let's make it spin more slowly so you can really see what's going on. We're just watching the letter R now, and when I do click the green flag, right, the letter R resets. Okay. I also want the letter B to reset. That's what this go-to is doing. So every time I click the green flag, the letter B goes back to the beginning. So there's two other things that you're supposed to do with your project. Right, so the letters are supposed to do something when you click on them. So I'm going to say when the sprite is clicked, I'm going to stop. But at this time, you may have noticed before, there's some different options in here when you pick stop. And up until now, we've always just used stop all. I don't want to stop the O and the R from moving around and doing stuff. When I click the B, I just want the B to stop. So I want to stop all. I want to just stop, not this script. This script is just these two blocks right here. I want to stop the other scripts in this sprite. I will make this forever loop. Other script in this sprite, it'll make this forever loop stop. So B moves all around. When I click on the B stops, but the other letters keep going. So you can add a bit of code like this into all of your blocks. So that then that way, when I click on the letter R, it'll stop spinning too. I'm gonna reset them all and then, right, do something when you click them. So that's the big idea. They're supposed to also, your letters are supposed to also do something when you push space. So that's another event. When space key is pressed, have them do something. What they do is up to you. There's some weird effects that you can mess around with, and you can experiment with some of these different effects and get them to do different things. But right? Some of these can really make your project do like weird kind of stuff. So here I'm going to show you when I push space now. The letter B, start push space, 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 space. The letter B is like kind of ruined now. When I click the green flag, all right, that effect only goes on while the project is running. So that's not something we have to reset. As I push space, you can see that it starts to get all weird and messed up, and you can see how far you can go with the mess up, right? Now it's looking really Minecrafty for a second there. Anyways, whenever you click the green flag, it'll undo those effects. But this is what you're supposed to have for each sprite. Right? Some instructions for resetting it and having it move somehow. That's up to you. Resetting that motion also when the green flag is clicked. Something in here about when that sprite is clicked, right? Use a stop, other sprites, other scripts in the sprite. I want you to include this in your project. So we're learning about different ways to use the stop block. And then when you push space, you can have your sprite do whatever it is that you want. Okay. And then you would write some code like that for all the different letters, O, R, G, E, and S, or whatever letters are in your name. And then you can play around with doing some different stuff, which I definitely want you to do. So, for example, right, I found some wacky dancing Tauren from a video game that I like. Under images, right? So I'm going to put this some of these characters in my project. You can do some other different things with yours. So I'm just going to save that for a moment, and I'm going to get this friend over here. I'm going to save this image, and I'm just going to upload them into Scratch. So these are going to be new sprites. I'm going to upload an animated picture that I just found. So there she is. As soon as I animate her, bring her in here, bringing all of her costumes, the sprite's costumes. So when I click on, there's my sprite. When I click on them and go to costumes, and you can see, like a flip book, here's all the pictures that made up that animation now. Now, they're not doing anything right now. If I want them to do something when the green flag is clicked, I'm going to get out a forever block out. Then I'm going to tell that sprite to switch to this next costume. So when I click it, right there, my sprite is flipping through all of its costumes now. Now, I can of course still move them. I can change their size of the sprite if that's what I want to do. And if it's moving too fast, I think that this one is, you can throw a weight block inside there. But we're talking about, right, a tiny, 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 tiny weight. So you're going to have to adjust that. But for this one, I'm going to experiment with 0.1 seconds, which is still too long of a wait. I want her to dance faster than that. So we're going to try 0.01. Whoops, come on, 0.01. It seems like that's about right. So you can experiment around with things like that, right? 0.05. It's a little bit too slow. I think it was right before 0.01. You can experiment with even more than that, right? 0.05, and then trying something like that. I don't know. Seems about right. Now, this is going to look a little bit different on different people's computers. If your computer's getting bogged down, your project's already going to lag out a little bit anyway. So there's that kind of thing, right? Then I could upload her friend over here, the other character that I had. I'm not going to do that right now. You get the idea, I think. And then add some music to your project. This project's going to have some music. So I'm going to grab a music file from some other Scratch project, but you might have an MP3 file from something else, from your iTunes or from your phone or from whatever else that you might use. And you can, of course, do that too. I'm just going to pick some ridiculous, silly internet meme song. And I don't even know what's up with this song. I hope that it's school appropriate. I'm not 100% sure what they're talking about. I mean, they don't say any bad words or anything. But anyways, it's the dance that the Taurens do is sort of like the banana dance in that weird meme. So that's what made me think of this song. So I just found some project that had a sound I wanted to use. I went to their sounds, I took their sound and put it into my backpack. As soon as it showed up in my backpack, Now I have it. I can close this tab. I can go back to my project. I can check the backpack. There it is. If I didn't see it, I might have to refresh this page because I've changed something. Now I'm going to go to sounds. Let's do this for the backdrop. Right, there's some weird sound in here. Okay, we don't want that. I'm going to drag this sound in. So now the sound is in my project. And we're going to write instructions to play this sound. And we'll just go ahead and put it in a loop and play it over and over. But we're not going to, so when the green flag is clicked, we're going to get out of forever loop. And then we're going to play this sound. It's a sound block. Play sound until done over and over and over. If we just start the sound over and over, that's that weird problem that comes up where it goes, just keep starting the sound over like a stuttering, like a skipping CD or something. If kids even know about skipping CDs anymore. It was a weird problem. Okay, so that's just kind of obnoxiously loud. I am going to reduce the volume. Something like that. Anyways, you can leave yours at max volume if you're into that kind of thing. And then now we can pick out the project. There we go. And of course, I would finish it up. I was going to add that other dancer, and you can have other wacky stuff you want to your project. And when you are done, and it's creative or crazy or weird or silly or interesting enough for you, then what you're going to do is, I'm going to back over the music. Then what you're going to do is click See Project Page and finish it up, right? We need a better title than untitled because we always do that, right? I'm just going to name it my name, but you can also name it the name of the project. Animate your name. You can name it whatever. Animate your name is the name of the project, but you can give it any meaningful title, right? Missing letters, whatever. And then get some instructions. This project does have some instructions. Tell people, hey, push space or click on the letters. It doesn't have to be a whole essay, but tell people what to do. Then, after you've done that, so for me, it's going to be click the letters, push space. Those are the things for that people to try. Then, whatever. Then you're going to share your project. So I'm going to click share right now. And then you're going to turn this into Canvas. You're going to copy this address, go back to Canvas. You'll have a button. I don't have it because I'm a teacher. You'll have a button right here that says Submit Project. You click that one. It'll pop down here. You'll have a URL to submit it to. Paste it in there, and then click Submit Assignment. Once you've done that, it'll tell you right up here. It'll say Submitted with the date and time. And as long as it's shared, I'll be able to see it, and then we'll check it out. All right, folks, so I'm going to finish up some of the details I didn't do in this before I add this example to Canvas. And that's it for this one. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.